I did have this story pulled up. Check this out. From the Post-Millennial. Body cam footage shows Paul Pelosi opened the door for cops, contradicting Biden DOJ. Quote, 2 officers opened the door to see the foyer of the Pelosi residence. Mr. Pelosi wearing a long-sleeved shirt, DePappin shorts, running shoes, and a sweatshirt, and DePappin and Mr. Pelosi jointly gripping a hammer. Okay, wait, what? Pelosi opens the door and then walks over or something. He opened the door for the cops. So there you go. Reports emerged from the body camera footage captured by police that they went in and 42-year-old DePapp allegedly assaulted Paul, blah, blah, blah. Spoke with a source familiar with the Pelosi investigation who personally viewed body camera video recording of officers. And the body cam video shows Paul Pelosi opened the door for police despite the DOJ saying otherwise. Now, why would the DOJ lie about this? Now, we did cover this yesterday, but the reason I wanted to bring it back up is now we have more people covering the story, but we also have this from the Daily Mail. Suspended NBC News correspondent Miguel Almaguer breaks cover from his $5 million LA home and hops in Porsche to pick up flowers as controversy grows over his report on Paul Pelosi's hammer attack. Yo, how does this guy have a $5 million house and a Porsche?
Whoa.
And anybody?
He looks...
We're in the wrong business.
I think...
No, we're in the business. What are you talking about?
We're not chills, though. But
I mean...
Also, it's important to note this guy hasn't tweeted since being suspended. So he hasn't publicly talked about after he got in trouble for what was clearly reporting on something that actually did happen after, of course, listening to police officers and reporting what police officers told to him.
He was suspended after reporting on...
he got suspended. He got in trouble for reporting on the initial claim that now NBC is reporting and other news organizations are reporting. And now that there's allegedly, dash cam and police footage out of some. So he told the truth, and then he got in trouble for doing so.
And now he has to bring Paul Pelosi flowers?
Yes.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
But here's my point. How does this guy have enough money for this? Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm sorry. I know the salaries of journalists. Something here is weird.
But he didn't
rich
just buy it, right?
That's true.
What's
his family's? I mean, it is true that journalists typically come from wealthy families.
Yeah. Could have money. Could also...
Maybe he invested well.
Yeah.
Sure.
He could have gotten, $2 a word for an article once and really put that into FXT. Sold just in time.
A $5 million house. That's
what do you
crazy.
think is going on? What's your...
I have no idea. I just think it's kind of weird. I mean, this whole
in
story
LA,
is
that's
insane.
just garbage.
I mean, actually,
$5 million.
Yeah.
for real though, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
But
It's a
the people
one
who live
bedroom
there.
in Compton.
Well,
No,
$5 million,
Maybe
Yeah.
but
Inglewood.
probably not
Maybe
something
Inglewood.
really big in the
It's
nicer
a
areas.
2 in the hills.
I think Hassan has a $5 million house in the LA area, right?
Yeah,
What a good
that's-
little
that's-
socialist he is.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he deserves it.
It's a nice area. LA, gorgeous.
Here's a
I don't know if you've been
guy
lately.
who now, by all accounts, appears to have accurately reported some weird goings-on with Paul Pelosi. He gets suspended. We don't know why. They're not explaining themselves. The story's being corroborated. Turns out it was likely true. The dude who reported it is unnaturally wealthy. I mean, look, if you were a cop and you were investigating something like this, you'd be like, how does a guy who is like a journalist afford all of these things? Sure, I mean, maybe he comes from a rich family or something like that. I just think it's kind of weird.
Why would the
also-
police investigate him for being wealthy, though?
I'm not saying him. I'm
I'd
saying like
investigate him for being suspended,
if you're a doctor and you're wearing gold chains and living in a $10 million house.
What's wrong with that?
They're gonna be like, this guy doesn't have that, like something doesn't add up here.
He's selling oxys for sure.
Right. No, exactly. They're gonna be like, something's going on. And so I'm kind of like, hey, this is kind of weird. I don't trust these people. I think the whole thing's a racket anyway. You'd be surprised how much money journalists do make to a certain
Well, at
degree.
NBC, too.
Yeah, but this is just...
And who's his wife?
he's just-
Probably someone in the White House. if
Oh,
it's
there you
at
go. That
NBC.
explains it, I guess. He
That's
drives
creepy.
a $134,000 car.
Yeah.
Has a $5 million gated home in Studio City, California.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why you'd want that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
me
I was
Just
thinking
in that area, it just seems like a good way to die.
Hey, that's literally where I moved
having
from.
like a really expensive
offense.
house. And
yeah, no,
No, I lived in LA
None
for a long
taken.
time, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, I used to love it.
Yeah,
It was
totally.
great 20 years ago.
Yeah, can
but not
imagine.
now.
No, just a
No.
lot of tents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of times.
It's really sad, really. It's like there used to be that little area that was Skid Row, and then it's just all the
Greater
LA now.
Greater Skid Row.
Yeah, it's so
now.
sad. Like
Yeah.
it was that one block downtown, and then just
Now it's all of downtown.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Nancy Pelosi won her district? It was like 81% to like 19 or something. Something like
Really?
yeah, and it's crazy to me because I'm like, you'd think the 12th time you stepped in human feces, you'd be like, I'm not voting for this person
Yeah,
anymore.
just in your driveway.
right. But yeah, there's like a video of a woman taking a dump in the middle, like a residential street.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, there you go. I was in LA and some woman walked into the middle of the street, and this was not in a bad area. And she just pulls her pants off, takes them off, squats in the middle of the street, and just lets it go. And I was like, wow, that's California for you. This was a while ago. This was like 7 years ago.
Were people clapping and saying how brave she was?
No, people were kind of running.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like not running, like speed walking with like a little hustle to get into the store to like get away from it, you know?
Was she wearing a mask?
No, this was way before the pandemic.
question.
Oh, okay.
And there was and then like I'm walking and I was like, oh well, you know, there you go, that's Los Angeles. And then I looked to my right, and there was just like maybe like 7 or 8 morbidly obese homeless people, and I just thought to myself like, man, we got fat homeless people.
We have fat, starving people in America. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Are they really starving though? What do you mean by that?
Malnutrition. They have
Yeah,
so much
yep.
crap in their bodies that they're
Yeah.
actually starving, but they're morbidly obese at the same time.
Isn't that the majority of Americans, though?
I think
Yeah,
it's
like every
40
time I look in
yeah.
the mirror,
Yeah.
friend.
40% of Americans, I think, are obese.
Yeah, and that
it's
number
gotta
is
be
rising
more
very,
than
very
that. I
quickly.
mean, that's really got to be throttled.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. I'm looking at Miguel, and it looks like he always was a career journalist, and it looks like he got the money from NBC News from his career there. So they probably have been paying him a lot. He's been working in journalism since 2000. And I think the main takeaway here is that he's been very quiet. He hasn't tweeted since being suspended. And the fact that NBC News retracted the official story here, which now is correct, really is the big story here. Really is very, very telling here, because I think there's a reason Miguel's not speaking out. Because he could say, hey, I did my job. I got the story right. I said it first. And I think it's maybe something similar to what happened with ABC News and Amy, what's her name? Robichaud?
Roback
with Project Veritas, that exposed her when she did a good story on Jeffrey Epstein, saying that she had Bill Clinton, she had all the politicians, and they, of course, axed and deleted that story and made sure that it never saw the day of light. There's probably something else more sinister here, because, again, rich people, the most powerful people in the world, one, have a bunch of security around them. So this whole story doesn't make sense just on that. Just one aspect of it. But again, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm sick of speculating what happened here. I'm just going to imagine the worst possible thing, and they were sacrificing babies and doing horrible things to them.
Well-
prove me wrong. Show me evidence. Otherwise,
Okay.
they were sacrificing babies. That's it.
Let's try this one on this story about this Almaguer guy. If we're gonna assume the worst, then it's NBC News pays this man an exorbitant amount of money so that he lies on TV. And then he doesn't question it because he doesn't want to lose the big cash.
Isn't
that's
what
called the job
they
of an
all
anchor.
Get, that's
Yeah,
what they all get
that's-
paid to do. And the
Yeah.
other thing is, he's got a $5 million home. He might be staying quiet because he knows that, especially since he's kind of vindicated now, he might be able to sue them for wrongful termination. He
I don't
might
think they're going
just-
to fire him.
Well, he's suspended.
Yeah, but they're with pay.
Oh, is he just suspended?
Yeah.
Look, I'm willing to bet they went to him and said, hey, look, it's a bad time for this story because the midterm's coming up, so just lie low for a bit and we'll give you a bonus.
Yeah, if you're making that kind of money, they're not just going to suspend you and expect you not to say anything. And he's
Yeah.
got to be getting money if he's not tweeted.
I've told this story before, how I was like, when I worked at Fusion and I said, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. And they were like, well, you're under contract. And I was like, well, this is stupid. And then a few months later, they gave me a call and they deposited tens of thousands of dollars in my bank account. And then I was like, yeah, I still don't want to be here. And they're like, oh. And then a few months later, like, okay, your contract is up, you can leave. And I was like, bye.
I mean, the majority of journalists, I mean, a lot of them have substance abuse problems. A lot of them that I've personally met and hung out with, especially I 1 year I got really hammered with the White House press corps. All of them depressed as hell. All of them are like, yeah, I just got a family. I got bills to pay. I want to make sure that my kids go to a good school. They give me a script. I read it. That's it. And I think it's more clearer by the day that they're just doing the bidding of the special interest of the powerful people of the Pelosi's that at the end of the day dictate what the people get to know about, because this story clearly highlights how they covered up key facts and evidence of what actually happened here just to make themselves look better, just to cover up the truth from the general public. And until I see videos, until I see actual evidence, there's no reason to give the government and these people the benefit of the doubt. Always think the worst.
I was thinking, because someone super chatted about Ligma Johnson, and I'm just thinking if we started a political party,
Yeah.
like if that was on the ballot, a lot of people would be like, "Yup," and they might
for sure.
just meme a Ligma Johnson candidate into like the Libertarians have been trying so hard to get a candidate in Congress. But if you put Ligma Johnson, a lot of people are probably going to be like, it's a protest vote. You know,
Can we tell Dave Smith to change his name legally right now? Dave, you're listening to me right now. Please, I get 10% on this idea. Change your name legally right now to Ligma Johnson.
I love
Please.
Dave. I would vote for
Yeah.
him in a heartbeat, but if we do Ligma Johnson, that man is going to be president.
If he legally changes his name to Ligma Johnson and the American people see it on the ballot box in 2024,
From a
there's
Dave to
no
a
doubt.
Dave, yep.
There's no doubt that American people will go for it. No doubt.
No, I'll tell you this. With mail-in voting, I guarantee you, if you go, like, so look, what is it? 40% or 50% of people don't vote.
Yes.
You go to the door and you be like, hey, did you vote? You'll be like, dude, I don't care about that. Yeah, but you can vote for Ligma Johnson. They're going to be like, for real? And be like, yeah, dude, look, it says Ligma Johnson. They're going to be like, done. Here.
That's the independent vote? That's the vote of the people who don't vote? That's the vote of the stoners? That's the vote of the Ians? That's the vote of the Lukes? That's the vote of the people. That's the populist working class right there. That's going to be like, absolutely, we need this change dramatically. I'm sick of the two-party duopoly. I'm sick of the Bidens, the Trumps. I'm sick of all that. Ligma Johnson, 2024. I actually have a shirt that says Ligma Johnson 2024, but that's a separate issue. I think it's something that we could really...
And then Dave Smith
really
changes his
get
name to
behind.
Ligma Johnson.
Seriously,
If
Dave.
you go to a football tailgate to get those votes, if any there's so many places
dude.
you could go. You're just getting high fives.
Banners, blips everywhere. Ligma Johnson everywhere.
getting checked.
I could see it.
Remember when D's Nuts got all
Yes.
those votes?
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
Trump would have a meltdown too if Ligma Johnson actually started believing it. That guy, Ligma Johnson, don't know who he is.
I don't know why he's taking all
Not
these
a very
votes.
nice name.
Not very nice at all. Yeah, but does it take away from, if you were actually just get people to vote for Dave Smith, I guess?
It's idiocracy. We might as well meet people where they're at, right? We might as well just go there. Why not?
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.